I tried to tell you not to test my rage, cause you just a yellow belt and I'm a just guy sage. You know the deadly martial arts of the black and the white lotus. Someday I'ma be the POTUS, you'll still be a giant scrotum.
What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from MTG down there, and today we've got a deck I'm really excited to bring you. Standard Boros Midrange, a deck I've been testing for a while. I actually needed an extra day to test this deck. That's why this video is slightly late. Sorry about that. But I think the deck is actually a contender. All we got to do is take the blue out of Jeskai and see what options open up to us in red and white. Here's what I've got. 15 creatures in our Boros mid-range deck, and we get to play a lot of the best creatures in the format. Sure, we lose the Jace out of Jeskai. He's inarguably the best creature in the format, I would say, at this point. But we still get to play a lot of creatures that Jeskai plays, including, of course, this guy right here, Dragon Master Outcast. We're playing two copies because, of course, again, we're not playing Jace, we're not playing Dig Through Time or Treasure Cruise. We won't have as many opportunities to see our Dragon Master Outcast as a deck like Jeskai would. So instead of just the one copy, we're going to go ahead and play two. We're a mid-range deck. The turns where he turns on are vital turns for us. And he's awesome later in the game after they've exhausted a lot of their removal against you. This guy's a great thing. You can drop him and still like remove a threat or do something else, you know. Really, really good dude right here. And can just win games outright for you in the mid-game. On to the two drops. We're playing two copies of Seeker of the Way here. I don't think anybody will argue with that. We're playing something like 20 spells in the deck, or 20 things we can prowess off of. And there's another prowess guy later on down the line. You can probably guess what he is. But Seeker of the Way, traditionally very good against, aggro matchups and even other mid-range matchups, helping us stay in the game, keep our life total buffed. And against control, he's a fine aggro creature too. So he can really go either way. He's pretty versatile, and I've always liked Seeker. He'll be indexed as long as he's in the format. 3 copies of Soulfire Grandmaster in the deck, and I wouldn't blame you if you put 4 in, maybe drop a Dragon Master Outcast. I could see that happening. But just this guy is freaking ridiculous. I mean, the deck almost couldn't exist without him. I mean, we've got, again, 20 spells in the deck, and a lot of those are direct damage spells. We can buy back anything with him, so or her, really. Soulfire Grandmaster is just absolutely stupid. We've all figured that out at some point. We have to play at least 3, if not 4 copies of her in the deck. We're not Jeskai. Again, we can't just get away with playing 2 copies because we're digging very far. We've got to have at least 3 copies because we really, really want to see this thing every game. It's absolutely vital. 2 copies of Monastery Mentor in the deck, and again, I could see upping the copies of this. The card is so good, especially in multiples. But we gotta leave room for some spells, right? So Monastery Mentor, just an absolutely great 3-drop. Takes the place of Manus Rider in this deck. Again, I'm looking at this as like Jeskai minus the blue. So we have to have a powerful 3-drop, and yeah, we're not playing a 4-0 3-drop in this case, but we do pretty well on turn 3 anyway. There's stuff, we can play a 2-drop and Wild Slash or something like that. So we've got options on turn 3. I'd really like this guy to be part of it. Monastery Mentor is really, really good in the long game, especially if we're not playing against a deck that'll blow us out with mass removal. This really helps us go very wide over the course of the game and can often win, especially in conjunction with like a Gideon emblem or something like that. Just Monastery Mentor is awesome. 4 copies of Thunderbreak Regent in the deck, yeah, and that opens us up to like Draconic Roar. I just think it's a really, really important card to play. We've got a couple of really good 4-drops to play in the red-white color combination. Obviously, we're going to be playing Gideon too. We'll get to that. But just really crazy 4-drops, right? Thunderbreak Regent protects itself in one way or another. Flies, is really, really efficient for its mana cost. Just everything about the card is really good. And it opens us up to play Draconic Roar, which is a great card and has synergy with Soulfire Grandmaster. So not only do we get a good 4-drop, we get a lot of stuff as a side effect from playing it. So Thunderbreak Regent, absolutely yes. Can end a game in a hurry too. Speaking of in the game in a hurry, 2 copies of Wingmate Rock in the deck. Just 6 power spread amongst 2 flyers for 5 mana is absolutely a disgusting deal. And we will be doing a good amount of attacking. We got Thunderbreak Regent on the curve before it. We've got Gideon on the curve before it, making tokens. We've got Monastery Mentor on the curve before it. So we will be doing a fair amount of attacking in the deck. Don't worry about that. It'll turn on all the time, and just it's an amazing deal. Super great against spot removal. So is Thunderbreak Regent. The deck is good in that way. So just Wingmate Rock, I think, is a must-have in the deck too. But we don't want to play too many copies. I think 2 is about right. 5 Planeswalkers is what we're playing in the deck. 4 copies of Gideon. I've mentioned him a few times already. I have to. And then 1 copy of Sarkhan over here. He's good against Gideon. That's pretty awesome because Gideon's freaking everywhere. And just an awesome Planeswalker in his own right. We're a mid-range deck. We get a couple of 5-drop slots. We're playing Wingmate Rock and 1 Sarkhan. I think that's probably fine. We don't have to play too much more than that. We're not playing anything for like 6 mana, so I think that this is probably fine and not too high up on the curve, you know. And Sarkin just can fly over and kill a dude, really good against planeswalkers and creatures and stuff like that. So I love Sarkin. I want to play at least the 1 copy, and obviously Gideon. I don't have to explain too much either. I've already told you like 3 times why Gideon is good, just going over the other cards in the deck. One of the best cards in the entire format, and is crazy. I mean, I don't have to explain it too much. The most expensive card in the deck, and I'm sorry about that. The deck is still way less expensive than Jeskai, so there's that. We're playing 15 spells in the deck. Let me give you all the burn that we're playing first. We're playing 4 copies of Wild Slash, 1 copy of Roast, 1 copy of Fiery Impulse, and then 4 copies of Draconic Roar. That's everything that will get lifelink for us off of Soulfire Grandmaster. We are playing a little bit more removal than this, but I just wanted to give you all the burn at the same time. You know, Wild Slash is super, super important right now. I don't know if Shock has ever been better in this format, or in any standard format is what I mean. You know, it just kills Jace, other Soulfires, it kills Nissas, Hangerbacks most of the time. Zulaport Cutthroat, it kills Morse like Den Protector everybody's playing. Roast kills like anything that doesn't fly, like Manus Rider or Jutai out of the question, but pretty much everything else it'll just devour, you know. And again, Fiery Impulse can cover the spread against like Manus Rider especially, it's an important card against that. And then, you know, Draconic Roar is just, when we're packing dragons, an amazing card, a great replacement for Lightning Strike. And when you have the dragon in your hand or in play, it's better than Lightning Strike, you know. And you know, they have to have a creature, but whatever, who's counting? There's also 3 copies of Silk Wrap in the deck, a little bit more, you know, removal. Just deals with all the same guys I just mentioned, and Silk Wrap deals with Manus Rider, which is really important again in this format right now. So I think it's pretty important to pack Silk Wrap in a white deck that wants to get to the mid game right now, you know. Even creatures that aren't aggro oriented are very good, like Jace and Soulfire, you know. Again, Nissa. So there's stuff that's not even really aggro that we've got to be able to Silk Wrap in the early game, and it's really awesome against Hangerback Walker. I should say that too, you know. If they manage to get rid of the Silk Wrap, Hangerback will come back as a 0/0 and just die and nothing happens. So Silk Wrap's awesome against that. Probably the best option against that, and Manus Rider right now, so definitely Silk Wrap. And to finish it off, 2 copies of Secure the Waste. Now, I had done a couple of things with this slot, including Hordling Outburst, but I just like Secure the Waste way, way better. And Retreat to Emeria, which was very good and found its way into the sideboard. I actually think, I want to talk about Retreat to Emeria for about 20 seconds right quick, but it's probably going to go to 30 seconds. Anyway, I'm wasting time. Retreat to Emeria really, really impressed me, to be honest with you. I noticed Brad Nelson, really, really good Magic player, was playing 4 copies of Retreat to Emeria in a deck recently at a Star City Games Invitational. I tried to, decided to sleeve it up, you know, see what happens. And it is really good, you know, and in budget decks I could see it being a really good replacement for something like Gideon, if you don't have Gideon, and feel free to slot in retreats if you don't have Gideons in this deck. And just, it makes, one good thing about it is for an aggro or mid-range deck that doesn't want to draw lands after a certain point, it makes it to where it's totally awesome to draw lands. And I can see a Boros or even mono-white tokens deck that plays Retreats to Emeria and Gideons, Secure the Waste and stuff like that, to just go, and Monastery Mentor, to go super duper wide and just, you know, through the use of emblems and +1/+1 draw all your guys activations on Retreat to Emeria, just make all your dudes huge and you got like 13, 15, 20 guys out, you know. So I could see that definitely being a deck, and I almost made it instead of this one, but went with mid-range. I think it's definitely a more versatile deck, you know, but I think that there's definitely an argument for Boros tokens, mostly because of Retreat to Emeria. The card is much, much better than it looks. What we ended up with here is 2 copies of Secure the Waste, like I said, and the card is just absolutely good. Speaking of versatility, the card's absolutely super versatile, you know. It can either function as removal or against control if they say tap out at the end of your turn to, you know, cast card draw spells, or if they tap out during your turn to counter a spell, something like that, then you can just follow up and Secure the Waste, and there's not much they can do about that. Sometimes you can Secure the Waste at the end of a player's turn and just, you know, get a bunch of dudes. With a Gideon emblem, you know, these things get absolutely ridiculous. They're all 2/2s. That's crazy, especially at instant speed. So Secure the Waste was just an incredibly good card that we could do so much with, whether it's offensively or defensively, that I figured definitely 2 copies in the deck. The card is getting better by the day. 25 lands in the deck. It's a fairly simple mana base. It's not going to cost you hardly anything. You know, it's not the $200 mana base of a Jeskai or like a 4-color deck. You know, that's the one saving grace of the deck, is this mana base costs like $4 or $5. You know, not bad at all. And I do want to play the Windscarred Crags. You know, we're a mid-range deck. We can get away with playing 4 tap lands. It's fine, and it'll help us out a little bit against aggro. So I definitely want to play those. And the Blighted lands have been pretty good in the mid game. You know, aggro decks don't want to play Blighted lands too much, but a deck like us, we can get away with playing 1 or 2 copies. And if we're going to build that tokens deck I was talking about, Blighted Step is dope. Here's our board here, which again, we've got tons of options in a board like this. We could play cards like Celestial Flare, didn't end up doing that. We could play like more Surge of Righteousness. We've got an awful lot of options, is all I'm going to say, and then probably move on, because this is what I think the typical red-white sideboard would look like. We could also play a race. I didn't elect to do that, but depending on your local meta, I could see doing it. And here are your power rankings, a final score of 66. The deck is very versatile. I played a lot with this deck, and I do think that it has a chance, even though we're losing the important cards from Jeskai, and we're losing Ojutai's Command Jace, we're losing Dig. Those are great cards. We're losing Manus Rider, but we gain a lot of options that give us stability in the late game. You know, we can play Draconic Roar and Thunderbreak region. We can play Wingmate Rock. There's Monastery Mentor, I think, is a really good card right now. So we gain a lot of important options. So I really, really like this deck in its current form, and I think it's really sturdy. That's the word that I keep thinking of. Very, very sturdy build for a deck. Well, that's all I got for now. If you liked it, just hit the thumbs up button. It takes like 2 seconds, and it helps us out tremendously. You wouldn't believe it. Share the video on Facebook. That's sweet. Comment. Let us know how you felt. And if you haven't done it yet, you should probably subscribe. What are we doing next time? I have no idea. I know a couple of people have asked for red-green Eldrazi. I've been testing that a little bit. I think it's a pretty good deck. Let me know how you feel about that, or just suggest things in the comments. I know a couple of you have been looking forward to a couple of different things, you know, and I've got a couple of things brewing, but I really want to know how you feel and what you want to see. So do that for me, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Dev from SBMTG. We got decks, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, my wizards.